look at this.
Bingo!
This is Christmas.
Man-made tunnels that could date back to the 15th century.
Holy smokes. But that thing went down 6 feet?
And you can actually watch it go down.
Evidence of a treasure vault.
The void has to be below this.
More than 150 feet underground.
Oh, this is really interesting.
How so?
Parchment paper and leather.
The leather and the textile were bound together to create a bookbinding.
From potentially priceless documents.
It's a big chunk of metal right there.
Wow.
And numerous artifacts.
AU.
Wow.
We got gold again.
Containing precious metals.
I'm getting surprised at a furious rate these days.
Welcome to the island.
Yeah.
Your wait is almost over, Acorns. The season 10 premiere of The Curse of Oak Island is just a couple weeks away. That means that brothers Rick and Marty Lagina, along with the rest of the fellowship, will be back, more determined than ever to get to the bottom of the money pit and finally solve the 227-year-old Oak Island mystery. So tonight, just to polish up your knowledge of what might lie ahead, or should I say below, we're counting down the greatest discoveries this team has made so far, which suggest they're on their way to recovering a massive cache of Bobby Dazzlers.
Number 3, the shiny gold-colored objects.
Just based on my research that I've done, I've never believed that the money pit was where a lot of people claim it to be. I think it's to the northwest, but this is a spot I picked.
In 2015, Oak Island historian Charles Barkhouse was asked by Rick, Marty, and Craig to make his pick for where the original money pit might be. Based on his extensive research, he actually chose a location more than 50 feet west of OC1. The fellowship followed his lead and drilled a new borehole, and even named the hole C1 in his honor.
You see the colors going again? How it changes color? Cody, what causes the surges like that?
There's no rock there anymore.
No? No rock?
Zero.
Zero rock, no rock.
Just dropping.
Still dropping?
Huge cap. That's huge.
Whatever crystal ball Mr. Barkhouse used paid off, because C1 hit a massive 20-foot void some 171 feet deep.
Here we go.
The following week, the team invited pipe inspection expert Glenn Cornell to feed a camera down into the void to see just what it might contain.
I'm approaching 50 meters right now.
Cavity.
That's a cavity right there.
I'm thinking I'm in a cavity there now.
What's that? That right there.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like it might be.
What is that?
It's shiny like metal.
Yeah, it looks metallic. What the hell is that? No, there's another piece of it there too. Look, yeah, another piece.
Look how yellow that is.
It's your gold color.
Yeah, there it is, David.
There it was indeed, an unmistakable, shiny, gold-colored object embedded in the wall.
Ever since Charles chose the spot for C1, we've been fascinated by the allure of this shiny gold thing that was seen in the original hole.
Great. Wait for you guys to get set up, and then we'll get this into water.
Although widening the borehole to 4 feet in diameter and conducting subsequent dive operations were unsuccessful in determining what the object was, in 2020, professional diver and underwater camera expert Mike Huntley joined Charles and Doug Crowell to feed a high-definition camera down to get a better look.
Look how clear that is, Doug. I mean, that's some of the best views we've had in a long time, really.
Mysteriously, the original object was nowhere to be seen.
Oh, what's that right there?
But instead, the team recorded video of several new gold shiny objects.
What's that thing right there? Right there. It's kind of like on an angle, you know?
What do we have there?
This area right here, look, it's almost triangular and it has color to it.
I can see gold. Oh, I'll stop.
Roger, I'll stop.
What's that right there?
Yeah, I see that too.
There's another one right there just off to the center of the screen.
Yep, this area right here, we do have more of that golden color there.
Oh, hold on. Is this another one?
That's definitely a gold object right there, a gold-colored object. Yeah. I mean, it pops compared to the surrounding area.
Number 2, a dump truck load of silver.
Dr. Spooner, I understand you have a concept for us that may help us with our sort of quest in the money pit. So far, the drilling has been great, but it hasn't found us what we're looking for.
Yeah, basically what we want to do is help you guys put an X on the map.
Okay.
In 2020, geoscientist Dr. Ian Spooner presented a revolutionary search method to add to the Fellowship's treasure hunting arsenal.
So the idea is to look at water down drill holes that exist, because the water in those wells should reflect the chemistry of the ground that they interact with.
Mm-hmm.
And so the bottom line is silver in the day was by and large things other than silver. It had copper, zinc in it, and silver itself does corrode. So the idea is to basically do a Pathfinder study and look for those elements in the water.
Great.
So what I'm suggesting is just take a look at 12 wells in the money pit area, just see what we get.
Dr. Spooner, you said it can find silver. Well, can it test for gold?
No, gold doesn't corrode, it doesn't end up in water. So that's why the idea was even silver's hard. If we find any silver, I'll be quite amazed, really.
If you find silver, it is a treasure hunt. Well, what's associated with silver in a treasure hunt? Gold. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't worry about that. Let's do what the science is capable of doing.
Yeah.
We'll do the rest later.
Well, Rick, you're firmly on board with this, aren't you? This sounds like a great idea to me.
No question. Science.
Okay, well, let's do it.
It's exactly 9 meters to the top of Basin. Okay?
Starting with borehole C1, for obvious reasons. Dr. Spooner and his colleague, Dr. Matt Lukeman, collected water samples in the previously drilled boreholes all across the money pit area.
It's exciting. I mean, let's say the scientist said, look, this is for sure. There's a big chunk of precious metal down there. Well, then we got to find it. We get to look at some, I believe, will be very interesting data.
Several days later, Dr. Spooner revealed the shining test results, albeit with a leading and playful delivery.
So I've got one question to ask. Do you think there's treasure in the money pit?
Ooh, I like that lead in.
No, I'm serious.
Do I?
Yeah.
Small chance. I do. I absolutely do. I believe that what they drilled into in the 1897 is real.
Right.
And I think it's still there.
Right. So Doug, can you bring up the presentation?
I can.
At the end of the day, there is every reason to believe down in those holes that there is something close by that contains a fair bit of silver.
I guess I'm still trying to get a mental picture of how much silver it would take to keep these levels. Like, is it a handful of silver or is it a Gerhardt dump truck load of silver?
It's a Gerhardt dump truck.
Oh, baby.
Oh, no way!
To me, the results of the water study thus far are the most significant thing that has occurred in and around the money pit. Now we have evidence that there's a high concentration of treasure connected to C1. It's more than significant. It's an aha moment.
Number 1, gold, gold, and more gold.
The question was, where do we go with those results so that we can focus our efforts?
Well-versed acorns may recall that the revelation about the vast quantities of silver came right at the end of 2020, when the team pretty much had to postpone their search operations for winter. So, during that lull in the action, Dr. Spooner looked further into what else the Fellowship could test water samples for in the money pit area.
We identified a lab that can take a look not only at our water samples from the perspective of silver, but they can take a look at our water samples from the perspective of gold.
All right.
There you go.
I thought gold wasn't detectable, though, in water.
Apparently it is.
Okay.
Great.
So, Dr. Spooner led the team in taking more samples.
It's a little discolored.
And conducted his state-of-the-art tests.
Okay. I'm just gonna taste this. No, are you serious? Oh. Quite mineral rich, but fresh.
We're going to continue to chase this wood till we can no longer find it. And then we know it lives in this area.
Yeah.
Okay, showtime.
Meanwhile, they kept drilling new boreholes near the C1 shaft.
Ready, Terry?
Hoping to unearth even more valuable clues.
This is very dark and woody.
Yeah.
Did you run your metal detector over it?
I'm going to do that now.
It was this operation that led to the discovery of the potential 15th century tunnel, some 90 feet deep in borehole D2.
Oh, what do we got? Let me pick the bag up. Oh, there's something in there.
But that wasn't all.
The metal right here.
That's a big chunk.
Yeah, it's a big chunk of metal right there.
That's good.
Wow.
A chunk of metal that Dr. Spooner was able to conduct elemental analysis on using an X-ray fluorescence machine, as Rick and members of the team anxiously looked on.
Titanium? AU?
Really?
That would be gold. Is that a large amount of gold?
Yeah, that's more gold than you think.
Like a dump truck full of gold?
The metal in D2 offered a hint of substantial evidence. But once again, it was the water testing of the boreholes conducted by Dr. Spooner and his colleagues that really whet everyone's appetite for what actually lies deep in the money pit.
Turn your attention to these holes that are gold in color, because these are the holes within which we found gold in the water samples. It's either coming from the till, it's coming from the bedrock, or there's something buried down there.
Wow.
Just like the silver testing, high traces of gold were detected all across the money pit area. So, does that mean there's one massive target? Or could it be that the Fellowship is zeroing in on several treasure caches deep underground? Whatever the case, the team finally obtained hard scientific evidence of gold on Oak Island.
I've believed since I was a little guy, and it means something to me on that level, that here's the proof. It justifies everything, right? Gold is where it started. The search for gold is what drove this way back 230 years ago almost now. So nobody really found any direct evidence of gold until now.